Btec Tech Award, we are looking at the promotional mix. We've looked at advertising, we've looked at sales promotion, and now we are on to direct marketing. Now, what this is when a business communicates directly with a customer by phone, letter, or email, not just a general drop, but directly with them. There are a variety of ways of doing this, and it can really help a business to get new people to sign up to it or to get existing customers to buy more. There is still quite a lot of building going on, as you can hear in the background. Now, the first way that we could do it is what's called direct mail. That is being sent leaflets, letters, brochures directly to the customers through your letterbox. You've probably received a few. I bet the adults who you live with have received absolutely tons. Now, personally, I tend to bin most of it and don't even read it. But occasionally something catches your eye. So if Domino's put a special offer through your letterbox, you might actually act on it. So one of the big problems is these leaflets and stuff, letters are quite expensive to print, and most people just bin them. So yeah, it can work, but not always. Email and texting. Now, I certainly get loads of emails from businesses where I have previously bought their product and they tell me that they've got special offers, they offer me special discounts, all these sorts of things. So they're sort of giving me sales promotions through my email, telling me about new products they might like to do. And that sort of works sometimes. Sometimes I act on it, sometimes I don't. I expect you get quite a lot. Emails are good because they're pretty much free. Direct mail, as in through your letterbox, much more expensive to print. Texting, I personally find that intrusive and irritating. I would never act upon it at all. You're different to me. You might find it worked. So you need to think about the cost to the business and the likely reaction of the customers. Also, email, if I'm not an existing customer, they wouldn't have my email, and then my email would go to junk. So email ones are only really good for repeat customers who've signed up to it. Direct mail, you can buy people's lists of names and stuff, but still it's quite difficult. Mail order catalogues, or now we tend to use the internet, but if you've probably seen in your house, I've got one right here. I've got one about flower bulbs, which I got sent to me. It's very expensive to produce. I'm looking at it now. It's got some very beautiful pictures on it. It's got 20% off if I order from it. So they've got a bit of sales promotion with the mail order catalogue. But I have a complex area, a complex load of products on my table. It looks beautiful. I might go through it and read it. Catalogues, not used so much. The internet is how we purchase, which has sort of taken over from that. Magazines. Now, this might seem slightly odd, but some businesses actually produce sort of like a magazine for customers. They have to know who you are, so you'd have bought from them in the past. So ASOS used to send out a fashion magazine, and it wasn't really selling to us. It was just showing lots of nice fashionable products and articles and stuff. Really expensive, but sort of helps us be loyal to the brand. They only did it a couple of times, to be fair. Obviously, I belong to lots of sad old things like the Royal Horticultural Society, plants, and they send me a magazine every month, which, to be fair, is quite nice, but I don't know, doesn't really make me buy any more from them. So it's a way of directly communicating with me. And telemarketing. Ooh, now I would say this is when you get cold called. Someone will phone up and say, would you like some double glazing? Not PPI anymore as that's run out, but I don't really respond to these very well, and most people don't respond to these very well. However, there are lots of big businesses that do it, so it must work to a certain extent, otherwise they wouldn't. So we've got 5 different types of direct marketing technique. Existing customers, you have to think about how you're going to get hold of their name. So if we just move on to the next bit, obviously the product life cycle again. We have introduction. You don't know who your customers are. How on earth do you use direct mail? Yes, you could just go and leaflet people's houses, but that's quite wild, or buy a list of people, but that's quite difficult. So your free samples, you could put them through people's doors. It does happen, but not so often. If we think about the growth period, still, we don't really know who they are, but the referring a friend could get us their email addresses, and then we could do it. Now, maturity here, we know who they are. the loyalty incentives, we can send them special offers like my flower catalogues. They can send these things to me. So you need to think about the stage of the product life cycle. Obviously, when we're in decline, you can write to existing customers and say, oi, do you fancy this? So direct mail can be good, can be expensive, and you have to do it a lot to get much of a response, but it is a powerful way of communicating with your customers.